Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, so you never miss a play. The Washington Commanders have found themselves navigating a rough 2025 season, one that has been defined by injuries, inconsistent play, and flashes of frustration that fans rarely saw during their surprising run to the NFC Championship game just last year. Despite the struggles, there's a sense that the franchise isn't out of the picture entirely. Washington remains a team that, with the right moves and a bit of luck, could re-emerge as a true contender once the offseason begins and roster building accelerates. The key to that transformation might just lie in the wide receiver position, a spot that has been repeatedly exposed during this difficult campaign. Terry McLaurin's ongoing issues with a lingering quad injury have left the Commanders thin at the position, forcing Jaden Daniels to operate without the kind of consistent threats that can make an offense truly dangerous. Beyond McLaurin, the supporting cast simply hasn't held up. Deebo Samuel, now in the final year of his contract after reuniting with Daniels following his stint with the 49ers, has not been the reliable option the team hoped for, leaving a glaring void on the outside. As a result, Washington's passing game has taken a noticeable step back compared to the explosive chemistry it showed in the previous year, and questions about how to fix that deficit have already begun to dominate offseason chatter. Enter Brandon Aiyuk, one of the league's most intriguing and dynamic wide receivers, who could become the centerpiece of Washington's potential offensive revival. CBS Sports' Zachary Paralees recently linked Aiyuk to the Commanders, painting a compelling picture of why this could be the perfect landing spot for a player seeking a contract in the $120 million range. The connection starts with Jaden Daniels, the Commanders' young quarterback who shared the field with Aiyuk at Arizona State, where the two built a chemistry that made Aiyuk one of the most effective targets in college football. That bond didn't end in college either. Even last summer, during Aiyuk's contract dispute with his then team, he and Daniels reportedly spoke, indicating a level of trust and familiarity that could carry over immediately into the NFL. If a reunion were to happen for Washington, the prospect of bringing back a player who already knows the quarterback's tendencies, the timing, the breaks, and the vision for routes is a significant advantage over other teams that might pursue him. Without such a built-in rapport, it doesn't stop there. General Manager Adam Peters adds another layer of strategic overlap. Having spent years in the San Francisco 49ers organization, where Aiyuk first developed into a polished, first-round caliber receiver, Peters' familiarity with Aiyuk's skills, work ethic, and role within an NFL offense is invaluable, giving Washington a perspective that other potential suitors simply can't match. This shared history, both on the field with Daniels and behind the scenes with Peters, sets the Commanders apart as a logical destination should Aiyuk enter free agency or become available via trade. It's the kind of alignment that could allow Washington to make a bold, high-profile acquisition without the uncertainty that often accompanies free agent signings, especially at a position as critical as wide receiver. From a roster standpoint, the move also makes perfect sense. Washington isn't just looking for depth to fill gaps caused by injuries. They need a legitimate, game-changing talent on the outside, someone who can operate as a true no-one receiver alongside McLaurin. Aiyuk fits that mold perfectly, known for his sharp route running, elite separation skills, and the ability to create big plays in open space. He could provide the Commanders with the missing ingredient needed to elevate Daniels' game and reintroduce an element of unpredictability to the offense. The pair's college connection is more than just a storyline, it's a foundation for instant chemistry that could be leveraged immediately in 2026, providing Washington with a dynamic duo that defenses would struggle to contain. The Commanders' passing attack, which has been hampered by injuries and inconsistent options this season, would suddenly have a focal point capable of producing explosive plays week in and week out, giving the team a legitimate shot at returning to the NFC playoff conversation. Financially, Washington is in a strong position to make such a move. The team is projected to have substantial salary cap room entering the offseason, meaning they can pursue a marquee wide receiver without compromising other areas of need. With McLaurin under contract and Daniels emerging as a young franchise quarterback, Peters has the opportunity to reshape the roster strategically, targeting positions that could turn Washington from a struggling team in 2025 to a contender in 2026. Adding a player like Aiyuk would be more than just a statement move, it would be a strategic investment and in the offense's identity, providing a cornerstone around which the passing game can be rebuilt. The team's ability to invest heavily in Aiyuk without derailing other roster priorities underscores why the Commanders are being viewed as one of the most logical suitors for the star receiver. The potential reunion between Daniels and Aiyuk also speaks to a larger narrative of continuity and familiarity that could accelerate Washington's rebuild. Chemistry is often overlooked in free agency, yet it is one of the most difficult elements to create once a season is underway. Having a quarterback and receiver who already understand each other at the deepest levels, from timing to decision-making to anticipation of defensive coverage, provides an immediate edge. This would allow Washington to avoid the typical growing pains associated with integrating a new top-tier talent and instead hit the ground running. In the 2026 season, the offensive scheme, already designed with Daniels' skill set in mind, could be enhanced by Aiyuk's versatility, allowing for multiple personnel groupings, creative route combinations, and a more unpredictable passing game that defenses would struggle to scheme against. It's worth noting that the Commanders' pursuit of Aiyuk wouldn't just be about talent acquisition. It would also be about sending a message after a season marred by injuries and inconsistent play. Bringing in a proven, high-profile playmaker signals to the league, to fans, and to the locker room that Washington is serious about competing. It communicates that the organization is willing to make bold moves, invest in top talent, and leverage existing relationships to accelerate the team's return to contention. Aiyuk's presence could serve as both a motivational boost for the current roster and an attractor for additional talent, creating a momentum shift that could extend beyond just one off-season for the 49ers and their fans. The possibility of parting ways with Aiyuk would mark the end of a chapter, but for Washington, it represents an opportunity to write a new one. The Commanders have the quarterback, the cap space, the executive leadership, and the strategic rationale to make a move that could redefine their identity on offense. A reunion with Daniels offers the immediate upside of pre-existing chemistry, while the broader financial and roster context allows Washington to make the move without compromise. In short, the team has positioned itself as one of the most logical landing spots for a star receiver like Aiyuk, and if circumstances align this offseason, it would not be a surprise to see Washington emerge as the frontrunner to land one of the league's most coveted offensive weapons as the 2025 season winds down. Fans and analysts alike will be watching closely to see how the Commanders navigate this critical juncture. Injuries and inconsistent play have defined the current campaign, but they have also revealed the precise areas that need improvement. Wide receiver stands out as a glaring priority, and Brandon Aiyuk represents a transformative option. The combination of pre-existing chemistry with Daniels, executive familiarity through PETERS, and a clear financial path makes Washington a compelling contender for his services. If everything aligns, the Commanders could emerge from a disappointing season with a blockbuster move that redefines their offensive identity and puts them back in the mix for NFC contention in 2026. For fans who have been patient through injury setbacks and inconsistency, the prospect of seeing Daniels and Aiyuk back together on the field is an exciting storyline that could mark the beginning of a new era in Washington football. The Commanders' current situation reflects the complexity of roster building in the modern NFL, balancing injuries, contracts, chemistry, and strategic priorities while attempting to remain competitive. Yet, in the case of Brandon Aiyuk, everything seems to align perfectly: talent, familiarity, and financial feasibility, making the possibility of a reunion not just plausible, but highly enticing. Washington's front office faces a decision that could have ripple effects far beyond one off-season, with the potential to turn the narrative from a struggling 2025 campaign into the launching pad for a contending team in 2026. In a league where timing, chemistry, and opportunity often dictate success, the Commanders might have found a rare alignment of all three factors, positioning themselves as a team to watch in the coming months. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. Hold on to your helmets, because the NFL rumor mill just exploded with news that has every fan on the edge of their seat. It seems like the Washington Commanders are getting ready to make a jaw-dropping move that could shake up the league in a way we haven't seen in years. Sources are buzzing with whispers that the team is preparing to offer a staggering $80 million deal to none other than the star quarterback of the New York Jets, Justin Fields. Yes, You heard that right, an 8-figure, jaw-dropping offer that could completely alter the landscape of the league and send shockwaves through both the NFC and AFC now. Before anyone starts packing their bags or jumping to conclusions, remember, this is the kind of news that often starts as a whisper in the locker room, a passing comment in an interview, or an offhand remark that somehow ends up lighting the internet on fire, and this one has all the makings of that kind of explosive rumor. Justin Fields has been one of the most talked about quarterbacks in the NFL for a while now, and his name has been floated around in trade speculation, contract negotiations, and quarterback debates for months. The young phenom has a rare combination of mobility, arm strength, and football IQ that makes him an incredibly valuable asset to any team. And it seems like the Commanders are now ready to put their money where their mouth is. An $80 million offer isn't just a gesture, it's a declaration. A statement that the Commanders are serious about reshaping their franchise and aiming to compete at the highest level. Imagine the kind of excitement and chaos this could generate in Washington. Fans would go wild, social media would explode, and the NFL landscape would shift overnight. Rumors like this often start quietly, almost imperceptibly, and then snowball into a frenzy. Insiders are reportedly seeing hints of serious negotiations behind closed doors, with team executives possibly reaching out to Fields' representatives to gauge interest. There's talk that the Commanders are willing to offer a multi-year deal with guarantees that few teams could realistically match. And that's precisely what makes this rumor so tantalizing. It's not every day that you hear about a team willing to go all in on a quarterback of Fields' caliber, especially one who has shown flashes of brilliance and has the potential to elevate an entire franchise. The mere possibility of such a deal already has fans debating, analysts speculating, and rival teams scrambling to assess how this could impact their own strategies. The intrigue doesn't stop there. Some insiders suggest that the offer isn't just about salary, it's also about creating a narrative. The Commanders, historically seen as a team with sporadic success, are allegedly trying to position themselves as a serious contender. A team that isn't afraid to make bold moves to get a top-tier quarterback. If Fields were to accept, it would send a loud and clear message across the league. Washington is back, and they're not playing small anymore. It would also spark debates in locker rooms and broadcast studios everywhere. Fans would analyze every throw, every practice, every tweet, looking for clues, dissecting Fields' decision-making process, and wondering how this could shift the balance of power in the NFL. The ripple effects could be enormous, from ticket sales and merchandise to the broader strategy of the league's most competitive teams. Of course, as with all rumors, there's plenty of skepticism swirling around. Some question whether Fields would even entertain a move from the Jets, where he has established connections, team chemistry, and a fan base that's already invested in him. Others wonder if the Commanders are truly capable of delivering on such a massive financial commitment without hampering their long-term flexibility. And then there's the ever-present media speculation, with pundits weighing in, some dismissing it as a headline-chasing maneuver, others treating it as a legitimate, high-stakes negotiation. The uncertainty is exactly what fuels the excitement. Fans are left on tenterhooks, imagining a blockbuster trade, visualizing Fields in burgundy and gold, and debating what kind of offense the Commanders could build around him. There's also the human element, which adds another layer to the story. Justin Fields isn't just a statistic on a sheet. He's a young athlete with aspiration, loyalties, and career goals. The pressure of a potential $80 million contract could be as thrilling as it is daunting. How would he weigh the opportunity to join a team eager to invest heavily in his talent, against the familiarity and comfort of staying with the Jets? It's the kind of dilemma that fuels hours of sports talk, countless Twitter threads, and endless debate podcasts. Every move, every comment, and every leaked detail becomes a puzzle piece that fans and analysts try to fit into the bigger picture. The human drama intertwines seamlessly with the financial and strategic implications, creating a narrative ripe for discussion, speculation, and feverish anticipation. Meanwhile, the ripple effect across the NFL could be massive. Rival teams in both conferences would instantly reassess their quarterback situations, salary cap strategies, and roster priorities. Coaches would start recalculating game plans. General managers would crunch numbers, and fans across the country would start daydreaming about what their team could have done differently. The very idea of Fields possibly joining Washington opens up a domino effect of speculation. Who else might move? What draft picks could be involved? and how the balance of power shifts within both divisions. The rumor itself, before any official confirmation, is enough to keep sports news outlets, social media platforms, and fan forums buzzing non-stop. It's the kind of story that thrives on anticipation, uncertainty, and the sheer scale of what's at stake. And let's not forget the financial angle, which adds yet another layer of intrigue. An $80 million offer is not just a headline number, it's a reflection of the Commanders' willingness to bet big on a future franchise quarterback. It's a strategy that carries risk, yes, but also immense potential reward. Analysts are already debating the structure of such a deal: guaranteed money, performance incentives, bonuses, and other clauses that could make or break the negotiation. Every detail, every nuance of the contract becomes fodder for endless analysis. Could this deal set a precedent for future quarterback contracts? Would it spark an arms race among teams desperate to secure top-tier talent? The financial implications alone are enough to keep fans and insiders glued to their screens, eagerly awaiting any confirmation or refutation. As the rumor continues to swirl, the excitement shows no signs of slowing down. Fans are speculating, analysts are theorizing, and social media is alive with hypothetical scenarios, mock trades, and bold predictions. The very notion of Justin Fields potentially joining the Commanders is the kind of storyline that captures the imagination, blending sports strategy, financial drama, and personal decision-making into a single, thrilling narrative, whether or not it actually comes to fruition. This rumor has already accomplished what so few stories can. It has ignited the imagination of football fans across the country, creating a buzz that refuses to die down. And in the end, isn't that what makes the NFL so intoxicating? The uncertainty, the drama, and the tantalizing possibility of witnessing history in the making right now. With the whispers of an $80 million offer hanging in the air, it feels like we might be on the verge of one of the most electrifying chapters in recent football history. One that could redefine careers, reshape franchises, and keep fans talking for years to come. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.